Hey, good morning, friends. Good morning, folks. Folks out there in the community of the internet that follow me on Porsche related content or esoteric related content or other content, who knows. Welcome, good morning. Hope you're well. Finally did get a haircut, long overdue. My experiment of running my hair longer to try to see how it goes, where it goes, what it does. Didn't bear out. It just doesn't, I'm not good with long hair. Maybe if it got really long, it would be okay, but it just takes too long to get to that point, and it was just too unmanageable. And the hats and the clothing that I wear in here, protective gear, the stuff would just fall off and slide off, and so I said, screw it, I'll just cut the hair. So coming into work now this morning, and this is what I like to see. It's kind of cool looking. It's got a good texture. It's got a lot of cool colors in it. This is a hood for a 1965 Pontiac Catalina. It's a customer's car. A guy down in San Antonio. Why am I using chemical stripper? Well, I'll tell you why. And it's a good reason why. Until I get fully stood up to be able to do big, large items, things that will not fit in this cabinet right here, I have relied on subbing some things out. Sadly, the record of getting back what I want from people I sub the work to has not been good. Not been good at all. And it's so bad that I no longer sub anything out to anybody for any reason. I just don't. I can't. Hoods are especially prone and vulnerable to being damaged. And they have been damaged. They have been. I know all the blasters in town. I know them all. And so I no longer send anything out to anybody. So if I can't do it, I'll tell you. Or I will tell you when I can do it. This hood is a little bit different. I'm chemically stripping it, and then I'm going to mechanically DA it. The underside, I'll do the same thing. There's really not much rust on this hood, so that's a good thing. So it's going to be good for the customer in the end. They don't get a hood that's stretched. I don't care, no matter what kind of media blasting I use, you use, anybody uses on a hood, a flat surface, it does stretch. They're already old, so they stretch out from people sitting on it in 1970 at the drive-in, okay? They stretch out from just time, repeated heat cycles, 50 years in the sun, 60 years in the sun on this thing. So I don't want to add to it by blasting it. And as I said, some of the stuff is just too big. I can't do it myself. And I've historically sent some stuff out until I get this thing back here, this big blast room finished, done, completed. Which is going to happen. So this is where I'm going with all this talk. I no longer do, or am going to do, car restorations. When somebody hires me to do the blasting and then they want subsequent work, like metal work done, welding this, fixing that, here and there, small stuff, yeah, no problem. But putting new floors in, doing this and that, it's not going to happen anymore. I'm just going to do what I have here, get it done, get it finished in terms of restoration work. Pre-contracted out stuff, metalworking, get that stuff done and get it out of here to the customer in their hands, and they're happy and they're grateful and where everything's square. Then I'm only going to do my stuff and your stuff blasting. Full cards I'll do, big stuff I'll do if I want to. I'm not going to do stuff that would be better served by a sandblaster. If you got a big thick iron beam or something, I'm not going to do that. I'll tell you whom to go to get that done. So I'm just going to go back to what I did basically stuff from 15 years ago, media blasting and my own personal stuff. That road that I got on 15 years ago of restoring these cars has been long, very expensive, and leads to a lot of frustrations on customers' parts, which maybe they were ignorant going in, unsure of costs, or they have an idea what it should cost, and then that idea doesn't always bear fruit what it really does cost, or their car is much worse than they initially thought. And the truth comes out in terms of from media blasting, and they get a rude reality check in the face. And the sad thing is that I'm always a bad guy, which I don't care anymore. So I don't really care. I mean, I appreciate people when they say budgets, I really do, but I don't care. The car will always dictate the costs. So if it goes beyond your whatever budget you have, then that's not on me. It's not. Wish it was, but it's not. So I won't wear that anymore. So if it goes beyond your budget, find somebody cheaper or go over your budget. So I'm just going to go back to doing my blasting and my own personal stuff. Personal stuff is right behind me, these cars, these Porsches. And I got, that trailer out there that's going to start making me some money. So the other biggest thing I'm going to start doing, probably in about 6 months from now, is get rid of all this thing I was talking about. All the metalwork stuff's going to be gone. That trailer out there is going to start making me some money. I'm going to start hauling cars around the country. Maybe 1 week a month. I'm going to go out there on the road. I've already got customers lined up. They're wanting me to tow their car in an enclosed trailer. One car, one driver, one mission from point A to point B. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to charge accordingly. It's not going to be a cheap haul that 8 cars on a trailer, and you don't know when they get there, you don't know when they arrive, you don't know, the status, oil dripping on your car from the junk above it. I'm going to do it all hands on, white glove treatment for these cars. So because I'm a Porsche guy, so I know you're Porsche guys and gals, and I want to respect that, and I appreciate that, and I want to provide this service for that community. So I'll still be here about 3 weeks a month, be out on the road 1 week a month, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less, something like that, and that's what my plan is. So the restorations go, finish, and do my own stuff and do the road stuff. So this is what kind of caught my attention that made me want to start this and make this video today. I come into work and I see that the paint stripper has done its initial job right here. And I'm going to have to do a second coat, probably scrape all this off and do a second coat, and work this hood and get it good to go, get it in epoxy primer and get it back to the owner. That is the deal. So also as I said about the media blasting work that I'm only going to be doing is primarily folks for the Porsche community. This right here is a GTS intake manifold. It's going to take a bit of time to clean, but I'm going to get started on that here in the next day or two. So there it is, friends. I think that's a fair summation of what's going on in historical record of Dr. Blast as of the 10th of June 2025. Going forward. So it's a good plan. I appreciate all the support over the years. I really do. And I'm just looking to make new chapters in this book and still provide the basic stuff and be very good at it and just do a couple new things, a couple new opportunities. Of course, part of that towing thing is I'm going to have to buy a new truck, which I don't mind doing. The Ram trucks are a little bit kind of expensive compared to the Chevys and GM. Well, maybe not GMCs, but compared to the Chevys. I'm not a Ford guy at all. I've never really liked Fords. Never hated them, but I just never bought into the Ford stuff. My dad never was a Ford guy. My grandfather never was. My other grandfather never was. So we just kind of stuck with Chevrolets and Chryslers. So, they were that way, and I kind of adopted that. So there we are. Peace out, everybody. Have a good day. Cheers. Bye-bye. Be good to one another.